Nobody breaks a man's compass. They just lay something beside it. Have you ever been told something didn't happen when you were standing right there? Not once, over and over, until you start checking yourself before you speak. I spent years like that in my own home, and I'm a man who was trained to make decisions under fire. The first thing she took was my judgment, and that's where I had to start when I got out. So, let's begin. I'm JB Wick, former Royal Marines Commando and a veteran of UK Special Forces. Now, before I go on, there's something you need to know. This video talks about domestic abuse, and if that's too much for you today, then above all else, look after yourself. In the description below, you'll find organisations that can and will help you. Please, reach out to them. That's what they're there for. And know this right here will keep for another day. I'll still be here. Every commando is taught to navigate, and the first thing they teach you is to trust the needle, not your eyes, not your gut, not the hill that looks like the right hill. On a mountain in cloud, your body will swear blind you're going the wrong way. That needle isn't interested in what you feel. Men have died getting that the wrong way round. That needle is your judgment, and nobody breaks a man's compass. They just lay a magnet beside it. It still swings. The housings are still sound. It looks for all the world like it's working. It just isn't pointing north, and you can't show anybody a magnet. There's no incident, no date, nothing you can hold up. So you stay where you are, because moving takes a bearing and you haven't got one. Please, one quick thing before we go on. If you think another man might need to hear this, can you do me a huge favour and give it a like? That's what pushes it to him. The bloke sat up at 2 a.m. Certain he's the only one. Maybe thinking the unthinkable. That's the only reason I ask. Because they're the men I'm here to help. Now here's what I actually came to tell you. Take the magnet away and the needle doesn't snap round to north. That isn't how they work. It swings. It overshoots. It wobbles for a good while. And then it settles. And it does that in an order. Nobody told me the order, and I'd have given a great deal to know it. It starts before you notice anything at all. You're off. Every reading you take is wrong, and it doesn't alarm you, because you've decided that's just normal now, or that it's yours to carry. No crisis, nothing to point at. That's what makes it impossible to see from the inside. And if you recognise this in yourself, tonight, you're not at the start. You're already in it. Then you start seeing the repeat. Same thing again and again. You can see the shape of it now, and you will not let yourself finish the sentence, because you know exactly where the sentence goes. That part is horrible. It's also movement. Seeing it and not naming it is still seeing it. Then the needle moves on its own, and it's so quiet you'll miss it if you're not watching. It isn't a row. It isn't some big stand. You stop explaining yourself so much. A boundary turns up without you announcing it. You go quiet instead of smoothing it over. That quiet is the thing coming back. Then the magnet comes near again, because it does, and it holds. Nothing dramatic happens. You just stay where you are. That's the test, and it's a quiet one. And in the end, it stops being something you're proving. No urgency in it. No need to show anybody the reading. No urge to go back and correct the record. You look, and you don't react. You know where north is, and you walk on it. There was no morning where I woke up and trusted myself again. It was small, and there was nobody there to see any of it. I went and saw a mate on a day she'd rather I hadn't. I stopped arguing back when I could feel it being turned round on me. I just wasn't playing that game anymore. That made her bloody angry, I can tell you. I started saying no to things that drained me, to people who wanted more than I had. Small ones, nothing anybody would notice, and every no made the next one easier. I got myself back in the gym because that was mine, long before any of it. I rang men I hadn't rung in years, and not one of them asked me why I'd left it so long. And I sat in front of somebody who laid the pattern out where I could finally see it. Years of it. The shape of the thing I'd been stood in the middle of. None of that looks like anything from the outside. All of it was the needle moving. There's a reason I started here. The rest of it stands on this one. Carrying the weight means nothing if you don't know which way you're carrying it. Choosing means nothing if every road out looks the same from where you're stood. Everything after judgment is a bearing, and a bearing taken off a needle that's been got at will walk you straight into the sea. I'm starting where I had to start, and I'll be here a while on this one because there's a great deal more in it than one video. So let me say this to you, straight. The thing I most needed someone to say to me. If you can't trust your own read of your own life at the minute, that isn't a flaw in you. Somebody laid something down next to it and needles come back. Whether anybody tells you or not, you are further along than you think you are. Listen, if today's a dark day for you, please, don't sit in it on your own. Here in the UK, there are people out there ready to help. Mankind supports male victims of abuse. Rock to Recovery is there for the armed forces, veterans, and emergency service communities. Calm, the campaign against living miserably, is there for anyone who's struggling. And the Samaritans, they will answer any hour of any day on 116123. Most importantly of all, please, if you feel or believe you're in immediate danger, simply call 999. Call them. Do it for me if you don't feel like doing it for yourself just yet. All of this is written about far more deeply than I could fit into one video. In my book, Breaking the Silence, A Veteran's Journey from Abuse to Freedom, and there's an audiobook version if you'd sooner listen. I've also put together a free guide, The Quiet Signs, the 10 quiet ways this shows up, and the first step out. Both are linked in the description and the pinned comment. Lastly, however this may have reached you, I hope you've got something from it. I hope you now know you're not alone. I hope you now know you're not imagining it, and that you know help is there for you, or maybe for someone you know. So, please, hit that like button and subscribe, because I'm building this whole channel for the person who thought they were the only one. You're not. They're not. Stay safe, please. I'll see you in the next one. I'll be right here.